I'm struggling under the weight of 5 boxes of manga. How did Natsuki do this? Gonna be hard to get this home and drop it off. Did Yari not offer to help at all? The walk off afterwards will be harder.
I'm so glad you remembered.
It hurts to remember.
You said you never want to forget, no matter how much it hurts.
It's been so long. What if they don't?
We both know that won't happen. They love you. They're your family.
After dropping off the boxes at my house, I make the short walk to my other family's house. I stop at the door, nervous, and put my hand up to knock.
Really?
No, I suppose not. I open the door and let myself in. It's me. Anyone here? Mom? Dad? What if they're not here? What if they don't want you here?
Hallie, is that you?
Mom, I'd forgotten how much of a hugger and how much I'd missed it.
Oh, sweetie, you don't know how much I wanted to hear that from you again.
She just holds me. I spent so much time here at my best friend's house when I was young, I just ended up calling her parents Mom and Dad, too. We're not related, of course, but I'd read somewhere that blood is thicker than water, but family is thicker than blood. That's what it was like. They are my family.
Does that mean you think of me as a sister?
Not since your boobs got bigger. Wow, that's kind of tacky. Shortly after my own mom had her heart attack, I called her mom out of habit. It hurt so much I never did it again. Looking back, I think that's when I began drifting apart from my best friend. This mom reminded me so much of my bio mom, I began avoiding her. I think she realized this and chose to let me have my space. I didn't even go up and give her my condolences at the funeral. I was afraid she would hate me for staying away. I was afraid she would hate me for confessing my love to her daughter and pushing her over the edge. I began sobbing. It's my fault. I was selfish. If I had just remained friends with her. Every horrible thing that has happened recently has been the consequences of that one fateful choice. I'm so sorry I told her the truth that day. I'm sorry for everything.
What? Why are you sorry?
Had I been talking out loud, or is she a mind reader?
Come on, sit down. Tell me what's troubling you.
Once I begin talking, it's like a dam bursts and it all comes forward. Out, rather. I tell her most of what had happened the past couple of weeks. Been joining the literature club, reconnecting with my best friend, confessing my love to her, how it drove her to kill herself, what it was like finding her body, Monika's admission and later suicide, the formal disbanding of the literature club, Natsuki's suicide attempt, not having anywhere else to go without being alone. When I'm finished talking, I feel numb and tired. I just sit there, uncertain of what to do now.
Thank you for telling me all that. First of all, I want you to know that I love you, and that none of this has been your fault.
You're just saying that so I'll feel better.
And I'm not just saying that so you'll feel better.
Is she a mind reader?
Better believe it. Sayori suffered from depression for a long time. She didn't want you to know because she was afraid you would treat her differently. I knew and we're getting her treatment. For the most part, her medications worked, but sometimes she'd have a rainy day. Guess that answers the question of whether or not I'd still be alive if I took meds. She once described it to me as living with a really mean roommate. It was always there, and most of the time she could ignore it, but some days it would hit her. It didn't matter what happened in the real world. Things could be going perfectly in her life, and her roommate still might attack her for no reason. I think something similar happens to Monika. From what you said about her, I think she had some sort of mean roommate in her head as well. Maybe it was depression, maybe it was something else. But it wasn't her.
I remember Monika saying some sort of epiphany had made her life seem unbearable. Did that pain cause her to hurt her closest friends and then kill herself?
Sayori introduced me to Monika at a school meeting once. She privately told me that Sayori had admitted to having occasional suicidal thoughts to her, and wanted to make certain I was aware of it. I already was. Sayori herself had told me with the encouragement of her therapist, but it showed me how much Monika cared about her. I believe Monika and Sayori just had a little squabble, then Monika felt guilty and blamed herself after the suicide. But even if Monika did do more to Sayori, I know it wasn't her. There is no way the same ill woman who cared enough to make certain I knew about Sayori's problems would do something so horrible. At least, not without having something wrong with herself. Sayori didn't die because of what you did. She didn't die because of anything Monica might have done. She died from a serious illness that, while it can be treated, can't be cured. Because her roommate killed her.
So, there's no fault. It just happens. She sighs.
Sayori didn't ask us for help that night. We were right in the next room. She could have come to us at any time and told us what she was thinking about. I'm not a psychologist. I don't even have clinical depression myself, so I don't know how much control her disease had over her. All I know is that when she was alone with...
She takes a deep breath.
With that rope, that the only person who might have stopped her is herself. I like to think that she fought as hard as she could and simply lost. But if she had a choice to ask for help at some point and didn't, then the blame is hers, though we have to live with the consequences. It's why the school counselor wants you around family right now, and I'm glad you're here. So that if you ever do find yourself facing that choice, that you'll be able to ask for help.
I'm glad I'm here too. I'm sorry I've been so distant with you and Dad the past couple of years.
We understood why and never held it against you. He's missed you too. Unfortunately, he's on the night shift this week, so I'm afraid it's just the two of us tonight.
Too bad. I was looking forward to whooping his butt again on Smash.
Well, I would start making dinner. You look like you haven't been eating well. Then we can watch a movie or something until you're ready for bed. I'll make up the couch for you. I'd offer you the guest room, but I don't think you'd be comfortable sleeping there.
Wait, when did they get a guest room? Oh. Yeah, the couch sounds great. Mom made some fried rice. It was the best thing I'd tasted in weeks. We then watched a movie about scientists discovering radio signals from aliens trying to make contact with people on Earth. Although it wasn't nearly as late as when I usually go to bed, I found myself yawning when the movie ended.
You look exhausted. A lot's happened today, and I'm betting you haven't even been sleeping well recently. Why don't you turn in now and get some sleep? Tomorrow morning we'll go to the hospital together and check on Natsuki. And don't hesitate to wake me if you need help.
I lie down and soon fall fast asleep. I wake up to the smell of frying bacon. Although stiff and sore from the couch, I feel better than I have in weeks. My stomach rumbles. Morning, Mom.
Keep it down. Dad just got home an hour ago and is trying to sleep.
Oh, right. Night shift, sorry.
It's okay. Fortunately, this weekend is the rotation, so he'll be back on days but come Monday.
I snag a piece of cooked bacon off the griddle.
Get a plate, mister.
I don't have time for that. I want to get to the hospital to see how Natsuki is doing.
It's bad to skip breakfast. You'll get cranky.
Like you? She quietly laughs and playfully swings a towel in my direction.
Anyways, it's going to be a little while before visiting hours starts, so you might as well eat.
I get a plate and serve myself some of the eggs and pancakes Mom had made and sit down. While eating, I think about Natsuki and what her condition is. I suddenly realize I wouldn't be the only one. I pull out my phone and call Yuri.
Holly, why are you... What's wrong?
I realize I hadn't called or texted Yuri since working out the festival preparations. She probably thinks I'm calling for help. I'm fine, Yuri, just eating some breakfast. I called because I'm going to be going to the hospital soon to see Natsuki. And I wanted to know if you wanted to visit her together. I see Mom smile at hearing me invite Yuri.
Oh, of course. Yes, that does sound like a good idea.
After confirming with Mom when visiting hours start, we work out when and where we'll meet. After hanging up the phone, I finish my food and rinse my plate in the sink. Looking at the clock, I realize I still have quite a bit of time. I'm gonna run over to my house real quick to clean up and change my clothes.
Okay, see you soon.
After a nice long shower, I find a clean set of jeans and a t-shirt. I realize I need to do some laundry soon. I've been putting it off and my school uniforms are a little ripe. My gaze stops at the drawer where the knife is hidden. I really need to give that back to Yuri. Thinking about it though, I'm not certain about the hospital's policy on weapons, so now isn't a good time. But I'm going to do it the first chance I get. As I walk up to my other home, the door opens.
There you are, I've been waiting for you. We'll need to hurry if we don't want to keep Yuri waiting.
I look at my phone and see that I took way longer with my shower than I had planned. Oh geez, you're right. We start walking briskly down the road. We see Yuri already there waiting for us. Yuri, over here! I rush up towards her.
You seem unusually cheerful today.
I stop short at the strange question and look she's giving me. Oh, right. I really am doing better today. I went to my mom's and we had a good long talk about things. It helped.
I thought you said your mother had passed away a few years ago.
She's my other mom. I turn around to see what's taking Mom so long. I see she's standing back a bit, probably thinking I want to talk to Yuri in private. I wait for her to come over. Yuri, meet Mom. Mom, this is Yuri.
A pleasure.
Yuri looks hard at Mom's face.
If you don't mind my asking, who are you? I'm Sayori's mother. This scoundrel here got to calling me Mom as a kid, and now he's stuck with me.
She puts an arm around me and gives me a quick squeeze of affection.
I see. Oh, well, Sayori was right. You do have beautiful hair. Thank you. I would love to sit down with you sometime and learn how you managed to take care of it. Okay, well, we can do that if you want. Believe me, I do, but later though. Why don't you two wait here a bit while I go talk to the nurse and see if Natsuki is being allowed visitors yet or not? I see now where Sayori got her exuberance from.
Yeah, Mom has always been like that.
I know you were childhood friends with Sayori, but was unaware you were so close to her mother, though.
I was young and I spent a lot of time over there, so she just ended up becoming Mom as well. Mom and I kind of drifted apart after my mom, my biological mother, that is, died. But when I needed her last night, she was there for me.
And I am pleased you went to her. I admit, I was very concerned for your well-being last night. I was afraid that you might...
Hey, I'm still here. And I have you, Mom, and Natsuki to turn to for support. I take her hand. Speaking of which, how are you holding up?
It has been difficult, of course. Fortunately, I have my parents and my own coping strategy to help me deal with it.
In the distance, I see Mom walking back towards us. Mom's crying. Natsuki's dead. No, she died all alone here. She didn't. Then why is Mom crying? Natsuki's tough. She wanted to live. That's not always enough. Mom walks up to us without saying words. Without saying words, that's what it says. Pulls us all together into a hard embrace. I start crying. I can hear Yuri start to sob as well. Natsuki's gone. She's really gone. I think to the last time I saw her, being wheeled away on the stretcher. I remember her looking at us then. Hard to believe that it was already too late. Help came too late. Oh god, they typos now. The ambulance came as fast as it could. You were too slow. I ran as fast as I could. You wasted time running when you could have used your phone. Yuri used her phone to call. That's because she's smart and you're just an idiot who acted without thinking. No. Natsuki's dead because of you. No. Just like Monika's dead because of you. No.
Just like I'm dead because of you.
No. No, it can't. She can't.
Sweetie, I'm sorry, but Natsuki is gone. The nurse said she passed away late last night.
I know. It's just one more thing. It isn't fair.
No, it isn't. Unfortunately, that's the way life is. It isn't fair. It's full of sadness and difficulty, and things can just pile up. Become overwhelming. But that's why we have each other.
Do you know when the funeral will be?
No, let me make some calls and see if I can find out, though.
Mom pulls out her phone, walks a little bit away, and makes a call.
Excuse me for a minute. I need to use the restroom.
Yuri quickly trots away towards a nearby bathroom.
I'm sorry.
I know.
You did the best you could for everyone.
It wasn't enough.
None of this is your fault.
Then why do I have to keep trying so hard to convince myself of that?
So I managed to reach... Where's Yuri?
She left to go to... Oh, here she comes. Feeling better?
Much. Thank you for waiting. So I managed to reach the school counselor. On a Saturday. She gave me her personal phone number once for emergencies after Sayori reacted badly to some new medications. She'd already been notified about Natsuki's condition by the authorities. And told me some things that... Well, she needed me to ask you some questions, Yuri.
Something's not right. It's about to get worse. She's dead. How can it get worse? Do you really want to know?
Questions? For me? What? This would be better in private. You seem nice, but I don't know.
She grabs my hand.
Okay, if it will make you feel more comfortable. Did you ever visit Natsuki at her home? Meet her parents? No, we didn't spend much time together outside of school. When we did, we always met up at public places like the bookstore or cafe. I've never been to her house nor met her parents. All I really know about them is that her mother passed away some time ago, and her father often works late. What's going on? When the doctors were treating her last night, they found bruises all across her body. Not only had she been beaten, she was malnourished as well.
That's how it gets worse.
There was evidence this had been going on for some time. The police tried to take her father in for questioning, and he resisted. They contacted the school counselor so that she could get in touch with Natsuki's friends. Find out not only if any of them knew about the physical abuse, but also to find out if he might have done something worse to her or her friends.
Worse? How? Are you really going to ask how it could be worse? Oh, God. You asked.
Oh.
I realize I'm crushing Yuri's hand. I quickly let go. I'm so sorry.
I know you didn't mean to. And as I said, I'd never even met Natsuki's father. I didn't know he was hurting her, and he never touched me. I hate telling you this and asking you these questions. It's just...
One more thing.
really messed up. For your peace of mind, there was no evidence of anything besides physical abuse. You can understand why the police would be suspicious. And the counselor thought it might be better if I just asked you now instead of having her ask you about it on Monday.
What's going to happen to Natsuki now? What's going to happen to her body? Did you find out anything about the funeral?
The police are trying to locate her next of kin so that they can claim the body. We won't know anything more until that happens. She doesn't have any other relatives. During one of our lunches together, I told her about one of my family reunions and all the people there. She told me how much she wished she had a large extended family like I did. That even when her mother died, it was just her father, and a couple of his friends at the funeral. Which means with her father gone, she doesn't have a family anymore.
No. She does have a family. Us. We can make certain she has a proper memorial. Just because we're not related doesn't mean we're not family. Right, Mom?
Well, I agree with the sentiment completely. I fear the government won't. I'm not certain they'll release her body to us. But we do need to at least try. I'll talk to the mortuary staff here and call the funeral home we used for Sayuri and find out what can be done there. Unfortunately, I have no idea how long this will take. So, why don't you be a gentleman and escort this lovely young lady home?
I laugh at Mom's obvious matchmaking attempts, then overdramatically bow to Yuri and offer her my right arm. Yuri takes my arm and we make our way out of the hospital together. My God, the tone shifts in this mod. As we walk out of the hospital, I hear Yuri gasp and wince in pain. Are you okay?
Yes, I just have a slight twinge in my arm.
I quickly let go of her. Are you hurt? Should we go back to the hospital?
It's nothing. Like I said, it's just a slight twinge.
What a pitiful excuse not to hold your arm anymore. Oh, okay. Glad it's not serious.
No, my other arm feels fine, if...
I blush slightly as I take her other arm and we continue walking. Yuri's presence next to me is comforting as we continue to walk.
Why didn't you ever take my arm when we walked together?
I stumble and almost fall to the ground. I accidentally jerk on Yuri's arm, pulling her over.
Are you okay? What happened?
I'm fine, I just lost my footing a bit. I simply walk beside Yuri as I continue to escort her home. I am surprised when Yuri directs me to a fairly small apartment as her home. I had always pictured her living in a mansion or something.
Thank you for walking me home. You being with me was comforting after...
Her voice chokes a little bit.
After learning about Natsuki.
Are you going to be okay?
I suspect I'm going to do nothing but cry for the next few hours. But my father is home. I have my coping strategies, and
She sighs.
If I begin to think about doing something permanent, I will call you.
Good, I'm glad to hear that. The same goes for you too. You will call me if you have any problems, I think Yuri's supposed to be saying.
You also have your mom, of course. She's obviously good for you right now. But I've lost my 3 best friends in a matter of weeks. That wave the counselor told us about seems more like a tsunami. I don't make friends easily. Before the literature club, my only other friends were books and online chat. It It's why I joined the club in the first place. While I enjoy and need solitude, it was unbearably lonely for me, and I'm terrified of having to live that way again.
My best friend said she was afraid I'd become a NEET that first day she dragged me to the literature club.
You would have too.
And she was probably right. I didn't have any other close friends, and the few acquaintances I had abandoned me after Monica died. You're the only friend I have left as well.